have some good news. I have some good news for Sony Alpha shooters because I think we can nail down what 2 of the next 3 Sony cameras will be that will be announced between July and September, October. They are going to be the Sony A7V and the new shoulder cine camera, so that's less interesting. Still unsure what the 3rd camera will be, but today I want to give you some more things that I got in the past days that give you a clear indication about the 2 cameras that we probably are getting very soon. And before we talk about all of that, a quick reminder to first of all like this video to help in YouTube algorithm. This would really help me a lot to make the channel grow, and of course subscribe and hit the notification button to not miss any of the upcoming rumors. The first half of the year for Sony has been quite boring when it comes to cameras. When it comes to lenses, we got excellent lenses like the 5150GM, but when it comes to cameras, this has been very disappointing, at least in my personal opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion, but we got the FX2, which is basically just the A7IV repackaged in a FX camera. And I like the idea to have an FX camera with an integrated EVF, but the sensor is just, I don't think, up to date. So quite disappointing. In the meantime, the competition like Fujifilm launched 3 popular cameras, or other companies are doing, I think, a bit of a better job. But there is hope now, because like I told you in my previous videos, Sony did officially register 3 new cameras between May and June. This means we are getting 3 cameras between July and October. That's more or less the time frame. And in my previous video, I told you that it looked like one would be a cine camera, one would be a mid-level alpha camera, and one a more higher-end camera. And now, of the two of the 3 cameras, we like to know what those are. So let's kick off with the least interesting model. Yesterday Sony did register the new PXW Z380 camera code. So we know that one of the 3 registered cameras is this shoulder camera. This is going to be the successor of the ZS280, which is a camera that is priced at around $8,000 at PH Photo. The cool thing is that the leaker, the Chinese leaker that collects all the data from those Chinese registrations made by Sony, and he's usually reliable on that, also added an info on his table. And one of the other 2 cameras that will be announced will be the Sony A7V. It really looks like now we are really getting close, and all my sources tell me this camera is coming the second half of the year. So I have 99% confidence that this is the camera, one of the cameras that will be announced soon. All the sources did share only little details about this camera, and the basic info here is that the camera is worth the wait. It will be not a lukewarm successor of the A7 IV, which means something like keeping the same 33 megapixel sensor and same basic stuff with new AI chip, and that's it. And the bad news they told me is it's going to be a pricey camera. So one of the sources told me that the price is above 3,000 euro. So closer to 3,500 euro, so for Europe, and around $3,000 in the US. And this makes also a lot of sense considering that recently the Sony A75 got a price bump and it's now priced at $2,700. I think we can expect the A75 to be priced at around $3,000. It's disappointing because it's much more money than you had to pay before for the A7 IV, but consider that we have the tariff, there was inflation. All things will be right if Sony nails it with the specs. So if this camera has some exciting new sensor tech, then I think people will be willing to pay more. But if it's going to be a lukewarm successor, then this will be, of course, a disappointment. And considering that this camera is going, if once it's announced this year, it's going to be in the market for at least 3, maybe even 4 years. I don't think Sony can afford to keep the 33 megapixel sensor, which is okay, but the problem is the competition ain't sleeping. Cameras like the Nikon Z6 III, they are offering partially stacked sensor for very fast readout. Then we also have Canon that will soon announce the R6 Mark III and so forth. So the competition ain't sleeping, and if you release a camera now that has to be top of the notch for the next couple of years, I really think they should use, for example, a 33 megapixel partially or fully stacked sensor to give the camera a boost, so in terms of speed and video capabilities and so forth. There is also that rumor that is totally unconfirmed going around, that saying that it has 44 megapixel sensor of the S1R2. I think if it's going to have the sensor, that would be a surprise, but let's see in the next days if I get some info about which sensor to expect, if it's a 33 partially stacked sensor or a 44 megapixel sensor. And there are some more info going around the web that I'm going to read you right now, that it does 20 frames per second, same body and same screen as the A12. It will have the new AI chip, it has better heat management, which also indicates that it has a better video performance, and also, and I hope this one is going to be true, increase of resolution when it comes to the EVF. The current A7 IV has a 3.8 million dot EVF, which is okay. I use the 9 million dot EVF on the A7V, love it. I don't expect this EVF to be an A75, but having a resolution up to 5 million dots or something like this is definitely welcome. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this camera, if the pricing gets confirmed, if the specs will get confirmed, if you think this is a camera that will sell, or if it's still not enough, or the price is still something that will be too high for you to consider buying this camera. So those are the two cameras that are nearly certainly coming within the next couple of months, but there is a third camera. The third camera is manufactured by Sony Japan, where usually high-end stuff gets made, and at the moment I don't know what this camera could be. I heard something about the FX3 from a trusted source, so this is a camera that could be as for now, it seems like the hottest candidate to be announced maybe at the show in Amsterdam in September. That would be a perfect fit to announce the FX3 which is in need of an update. But there are also other cameras that are in dire need of an update, like of course the A7S III. Even the A7V is starting to age, but I still think the successor is coming in 2026. But of course there would be also, for example, a new fixed lens RX camera would be a nice candidate, and other models. So there are plenty of models that Sony need to update, but the only one where I heard solid rumors is the FX3 Hopefully sources after watching this video will correct me if I said something wrong, or if they have some more additional info. You can contact me using this email address and contact form. It's anonymous, so use a nickname so that I can recognize in future. But really I hope that Sony will fasten the pace, not only this year but also next year, because they need to update a ton of cameras to be competitive. That's now really it. So hopefully soon I can tell you some info about the Sony A7V specs. So some trusted sources are on it, so I know I will get it in time long before the announcement. But the Sony A75 is coming, and let's hope the third camera, after the shoulder camera, the third camera will be some other exciting model, probably coming in October. Okay, see you very soon, folks.